people don't know that genocide against the Tutsi that happened in 1994 here in this country, that also among the street kids there were divisions.
Oh.
So we had those ones who were calling us snakes,
Yes.
who were beating us, who were like,
Wow.
I remember my brother being caught in between the fingers because they said that he's a snake. They want to see
Wow.
a blood of Tutsi, you know.
Wow.
There was a lot of terrible things happening even among the street kids.
Wow, I didn't know that even among the street kids they would know and
it was terrible. I would say up to now there are many stories about genocide against Tutsi that we haven't heard in this country.
Yes.
Because who knew that among the street kids can be such a thing? But it was there.
Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Moments with Joe. Today I have a very special guest who is actually my uncle, but he doesn't like me to call him my uncle. He's actually my cousin, but anyways. He is Olivier Mugwiza. He's actually also a very famous photographer here in Kigali. He doesn't like for me to mention it, but he really is good. But today it's a very special podcast, one that I always wanted to do because I always wanted for him to record his testimony about his survival during the genocide against the Tutsis in 1994 in Rwanda. So he, over the years, as we grew up, has always told us so many stories, and also hearing it from my mother. So today is a special day, and I wanted to thank him for being here and sharing his story. And so hi, Olivier.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I think I am. I'm good.
He didn't want to be here, but I forced him. But it's okay. I
love being behind the camera, not in front of the camera. But it's fine.
It's fine. For today, it's fine.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to start. Just tell them a bit about yourself, how old you were during the genocide against the Tutsi in 1994, and how was life right before it happened. And maybe you can share about like your family also, how it was.
Well, thank you for having me. I think talking about before genocide against Tutsi in 1994 here in Rwanda, it can go way back, but I think we can take it from previous few years, from probably, I was born here in this country, in Rwanda. I'm a Rwandan, and I did my primary school. Surprisingly, I have no any other education beyond that. I'm sure you didn't know that.
No.
And so I was living in Remera.
Okay.
So by 1992, from 1992, end of 1992, I was living on the streets. I was a street kid.
Were you living with grandpa before?
Before that.
Okay.
Before that, I lived with my grandpa. Well, we left, my brother and I, we left in the village called the Gasoji, where we lived, and then we came to live to my grandpa. And then the time came and we couldn't live there. You know, the kids can be stubborn, can do, you know. It was those years, but there was a lot of mixture of things, which I don't think that it's necessary to go into details. So, then the time came and then we left home. But we lived with the grandpa for quite some good time. Together with your mom as well, who was my coolest auntie. So then in the 1992 ending of it, that's when we ended up going on the streets.
Okay.
So until life on the streets, it's miserable, it's not good at all. You know, you always wake up thinking, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna eat? You know, and also, well, big part of it, the people don't know that genocide against the Tutsi that happened in 1994 here in this country, that also among the street kids there were divisions. So we had those ones who were calling us snakes, who were beating us, who were like, I remember my brother being caught in between the fingers because they said that he's a snake. They want to see a blood of Tutsi. You know, there was a lot of terrible things happening even among the street kids.
Wow, I didn't know that even among the street kids they would know and.
It was terrible. I would say up to now, there are many stories about genocide against Tutsi that we haven't heard in this country. Yes. Because, who knew that among the street kids can be such a thing? But it was there. Okay. So I remember many of them, they were make us do things which wouldn't make a kid to do. And they were all those old who were in Heramwe, by the way, because it was official. They were in Heramwe, we knew each other. They knew my grandfather. Or in the area, they knew my grandfather's family. They knew that that's where we come from. They knew that my grandfather had sons in Hotanyi. So they knew everything. So,
I didn't know that they actually knew where you were coming from. I thought they didn't know your identity.
They knew. Because in those years, there was those lists being made of the Tutsis who are going to be killed. So making the list started way before genocide against the Tutsi. So it was prepared already. They knew who to kill.
I thought it was like maybe like the year of. So even you were on the list while you were already a street kid. Wow.
They knew they had the list. Even I remember when we used to go to visit the 600 soldiers of RPF in the parliament. But there will always be those people who are there sitting with the paper and the pen, writing down who visited the RPF soldiers so that they will be killed. So making the list, it was something which everyone knew.
And how were like the days before, let's say the months before, the year before, were there already tensions? Like, did you know how bad it was? Like when you were still living, like, you know, on the streets and everything, did you know how bad it was going to get? Like, could you see it? Or?
Well, we could see a lot of signs of division. And a lot of actions of like beating or like talking nonsense to people, saying these are snakes. You know, you grow up and you hear someone calling another person a snake. You know a snake, it's an animal. You know, so there's a lot of things happened before genocide against Tutsi, which was leading to the genocide against the Tutsi in 1994. But we didn't know that it's gonna be what it became to. So we could see all of those in Erahamwe doing their meetings, all those being training. But 16-year-old, I don't think that I would imagine that it's going to become into genocide against the Tutsi, you know. But those signs were there, and they could train. When we see them, they could meet, they could be saying like, we will finish you, we will eat you, we will do whatever things they will say. Yeah, it was there. But sometimes you think it's a joke as a kid, but older people, they knew, like my grandpa and my uncles, your mom, they all knew. Because they could sneak in and listen to Muhabura, they knew a lot of news more than we did. Even if we could see on the streets what's happening. But there was a lot of signs showing that something is going to happen.
There's a question among the people that didn't live, like that didn't see the genocide or live through it. There's always this question that even I ask myself, like, why did you guys not leave? Or why did, for example, Grandpa not leave and decide to leave? Or was it because they didn't also think it would be as bad as it was?
Well, first of all, you will start thinking like leaving, going there. How are you gonna leave? If they're controlling airport, they're controlling the borders. How are you gonna cross?
You guys weren't allowed to also leave like before the genocide started?
People could go out, but even Grandpa also was among the so-called Ibjitso. So like they're sneaking in the news to the RPF in Hotanyi. So from the beginning, they suffered a lot from that. We remember him being taken away.
I remember,
so he then later on he came back. But we were controlled. There was no way you could say that they could have left the country. But also, I don't think that people really knew that it's going to be
as bad
as it happened.
I feel it. And can you tell us, maybe take us to the day it started? Like, how was it for you? Where were you? How old were you? And yeah, how did it start? And how did you eventually like make it out?
Well, the way starting it started many years before that.
Yeah.
But on the 6th,
Yes.
6th, in the night of 6th April, I remember we were a bunch of kids sleeping in the old falling house somewhere in Remera there.
Yeah.
And we had the noise of a plane being shut down.
Okay.
We had the noise, but we didn't know what it is. After the noise, like an hour, 30 minutes, that we started hearing the bullets, gunshots going around. So we woke up in that old house. We stepped out. I even remember the place. I can go there. It was here. It was here. It was
Yes.
here. So we started seeing the bullets shedding towards the parliament where the 600 soldiers were.
Yes.
So for us as the kids, some of us actually, because loving the movies, some of us were enjoying the movies. We didn't know what's happening, you know. So the whole night there was shooting. We could just see the bullets going in.
How old were you?
16.
16, okay.
Yeah. So then until the morning, in the morning we just went on the streets like as usual.
As usual.
Then there was nothing. Only the soldiers of ex-FAL or so-called gendarmerie.
Yes.
They were moving on the streets.
Okay.
So everything was shut. So we went down. So that's when the other kids, when they saw those soldiers from ex-FAL,
Yes.
they started saying, "We are Tutsis."
Wow.
And we started running away.
Oh, meanwhile, you guys were sleeping together,
Yeah,
but
in the same house.
But starting
we-
that day, immediately they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you guys,
Yeah.
wow."
So when it started, they said these are the Tutsi.
Yes.
They went to the side of those soldiers. And then in that morning, actually, that's when I saw, it was my first time to see a human being killing another human being.
Wow.
So I saw there was para commandos or commandos from ex-FAL coming from Kanombe barracks. So they came from, now it's the Remera Catholic one, I think. They
Yes.
came up, and there was a young lady who came out from the house wanting to know what's happening.
Yes.
She was tall, she was brown, and then she met exactly with those soldiers. So they told her to lay down, and they stepped in her chest until she died. That was my first time to see someone being killed.
Wow.
So seeing that with the other guys saying that these are Tutsis, then the soldiers also started running after us.
Wow.
So we had to run.
Yes.
We had to run, and they ran after us, shooting.
Wow.
We hid in the sorghum garden, and I remember we went to hide to one of the guys who used to teach us karate, and he wasn't there.
Yes.
Only his wife. His wife was a Tutsi, but
Okay.
he was a Hutu.
Okay.
So then the wife opened, and we hid in. She closed the door. So when we were there, after some time, the guy came in, the husband of the wife.
Yes.
When he came in, he looked at us and was like, "What are you doing here?" We could see this big stick they had with full of blood and
He
with a
was
big
participating in killings.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we didn't know.
Yes.
When we saw what he had, that's when we were like, okay.
Oh.
So he started asking, "What are you doing here?" And they were like, "We are hiding because they want to kill us."
Yes.
So he went, he put whatever he had in the room,
Uh-huh.
and he came back in the sitting room and he told the wife, "Tell them to go."
Wow.
And the wife was like, "Where are they going to go?
Yeah.
They want to kill them.
Yeah.
These are the kids." And what he told her, he was like, "If you don't tell them to go and you go with them, I'm going to kill all of you myself."
Wow. Even
Just
his
like
wife.
that. Yes, just like that.
Wow.
So we knew that things are now tough.
Yeah.
This is the guy who used to teach us karate.
And you guys
who
had a
we
good
lived
relationship.
with. Yeah.
Wow.
Who we lived with. And then we had to step out and run. So lucky enough, the area, it's nearby where now there is a control technique where the police has the
Yeah.
whatever they do with the cars. So it was nearby the stadium. So lucky enough, we were able to run towards the stadium because there was UN soldiers thinking that we're gonna be safe. So then, when I remember when we jumped the fence for the stadium,
Yes.
I remember one of Interahamwe who were with us.
Wow.
Among those who were running after us, he had a ball, so he had to put an arrow and he added on grenade.
Wow.
So he wanted to shoot us with that.
Yeah.
And then I remember me hiding near the small toilet which was inside in the compound of the stadium. Then he felt, said like, it's okay, just
Leave them.
Get them.
Yeah.
So then we jumped into the stadium. That's how that was our refuge. Stadium was full of people because everyone was running into the stadium thinking that we're going to be safe.
Yes.
It's safe because UN soldiers are there. But to be honest, it wasn't safe at all.
Oh, really?
UN soldiers were doing nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing
so
to
they
protect.
would allow killings to still happen?
There was nothing to stop us coming in. They couldn't stop us.
Wow.
But again, they couldn't stop Interahamwe coming to kill people there. And yet, it's their mandate to protect the people.
And how were the Interahamwe able to enter, since you guys were a big crowd?
Yeah, some of them actually ran into the stadium together with those who are running into the stadium, hiding to be also running away from the killings. So some of them went and hid into the ceiling in the stadium, and you could hear grenades going off some places without knowing where it's coming from.
What?
But yeah, later on we discovered that there's
some of them were
hidden in the ceiling.
Wow.
So by then, RPF soldiers were still trying to come and save people.
Yeah.
I think we were even lucky enough that 600 soldiers were in Parliament down there because it was nearby to come. That's when we saw them coming in, that was our savior.
Yeah.
You know, because for me, I saw them fighting with the soldiers with my eyes. And you see where there is a BK Arena now?
Yes.
In that area, that's where they fought very well.
Wow.
They fought like crazy, like things you watch in the movie and you can see it with your eyes.
Wow.
So then until they took over the area, they started protecting the whole stadium so that people won't come in.
Yes.
But again, the stadium was being shelled with a lot of rockets.
Yes.
You could be sleeping here in the stadium.
Yes.
And then the rocket comes, this person goes, and you are there.
Wow.
You have nowhere to go.
So were you still by yourself at the time, or was grandpa and mom and everyone?
No, the first day I was just with my old brother. And then the second day, I think that's when, if I'm not mistaken, that's when they came in. But also them coming in, they came in, the RPF soldiers got to them in the right time because we had a lot of bamboos behind our home, our grandfather's home.
Yes.
So already the ex-FAR soldiers and the Interahamwe, they were there, set up the bombs, the grenades, and they're ready to enter into the home and kill them.
Wow. So the thing is, maybe for a background story, my grandfather, he had a lot of kids. There were a lot of them. He had a lot of girls. So he was very worried that if they come in, they're probably going to rape them, kill them. So they were very worried. But I guess they were saying to them like, "Oh, you guys are going to be our dessert," or something like that. So they left them for a few days, thank God, because the RPF soldiers got to them in time.
You could tell that they knew what they wanted because the way they surrounded their home. Yeah. Because you could tell like they wanted just to jump in and do whatever they wanted to do.
Wow. Yeah. And that's when the RPF came and saved them.
RPF. Actually, one of the street kids. I think he got scared and hearing the bullets and then shouted like, "Imotanyi is coming." Oh. So then those who wanted to come from the front, they had to run away. Yes. Because there were those in front and those who were behind.
In the back, wow.
So I think that's when they ran away. Yes. And my grandpa, that's when they sneaked in and came running into the stadium.
Wow.
So we lived into the stadium for a couple of days because, well, many people couldn't even get out of the stadium. But we as the street kids, we didn't care. Sometimes we were like, okay. But by then we started also being free with the RPF soldiers. And if there is a need, we tell them we need this, and they could tell you like, okay, come, let's see where we can. That's when the stories of your sister comes in, like your mom, she had no milk for Olive.
Yes.
So that's when when we got, my grandfather had an office into the stadium.
Yes.
That's
really?
Yeah, that's where all they went to hid in.
Okay.
All of them, they were able to fit in that small,
Wow.
tiny office. And so when we got to know that they are there already, so we went to see them.
Okay.
So they told us what they need. I'm like, okay, we'll see what we can do. So that's
so
how
you
we
went
ended up.
out of the stadium to get milk for Olivia?
Yeah. So even my grandfather, like, he wanted some slippers because
He had no shoes anymore.
Yeah. He had shoes, but closed shoes. He wanted like clean sandals or open shoes. So we went in so-called the Mijina, and then we told the RPF soldiers we need this and this, and they're like, okay, come, let's see what we can do.
Wow.
So we could find what we were looking for sometimes. And
were you not scared when you got out of the stadium?
Of what? For me, I was already safe because RPF soldiers were there.
Okay.
No one is running after me, shooting and wanting to kill me.
I see.
These are the guys telling me, what do you need? Let's see what you can do.
And what were the scenes outside? Like how, once you got outside?
Yeah. So the streets were full of dead bodies.
Wow.
All the streets were full of dead bodies. And another thing which doesn't leave my mind is that sometimes we could go fetch water in the place called Kagara. It's to go in the valley down. And then there was a day we went there, we were more than 20 people. So 3 of us made it back in the stadium. Because the rest of them, they shot them dead completely.
Wow.
The last one they shot was in the gates of the stadium. They shot her, and then she fell into those small water gaps or whatever. Yeah.
On the side.
Yeah, those are the memories which doesn't leave you alone. Just you keep thinking about it. And yeah, it was terrible smell. Not only even out of the stadium, because the stadium was being bombed at.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of dead bodies also in the stadium.
Yes.
You could just see the rocket comes, and then this so-and-so is dead. You are sleeping there in the same place. Where will you go?
Wow.
There's nowhere else to go. Yeah, so it was, I think for me, if hell exists, this country has gone to the bottom of hell and came back. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
So it's, at some point I couldn't even believe it. I was like, is it a movie I'm watching?
I want to know like your state of mind, because you were only 16 and I feel like you're still quite young. So were you grasping the gravity of what was happening, or were you just like emotionally like turned off?
I think at some point my emotions were turned off, to be honest, because it even took me 10 years.
Wow.
Because I was still in denial. 10 years, why?
Yeah.
10 years, that's when we were able to find Auntie Domina.
Yes.
That's when they showed us where they throw her.
Wow.
And when we digged her up, because they killed her with an axe. So when we digged her up, the axe was still in her head.
Wow.
So that's when I was able to wake up and wait.
What happened?
So the thing happened. It took 10 years.
Wow.
Today, there are many people who still like
on survival
don't
mode,
want to talk about it. They're still on journey of healing. They're still, so yeah, from the stadium we went, RPF soldiers took us to Byumba.
Okay.
And then Byumba also all the way, because Byumba was the heaven for many of us.
Yeah.
So, but getting there also, it was another...
Was it by foot that you guys went?
Yeah.
Or wow.
No, by foot we went all the way to a place called Kabuye.
Okay.
And then but people did go by foot also to even more than
How
that.
long was the journey?
can't even remember because we traveled in the night. In the night because it was safer traveling in the night, and at some point you could just step on dead bodies, but you keep on moving.
Wow.
Yeah. As you move on, they shoot at you, they protect you, they tell you go on like this, wait. You know, so yeah.
Wow, I feel like your stress levels, when I think about it, must have been so high. Like you were constantly on like an edge, like
Yeah.
So
always be ready to die.
yeah. So how is that?
Moving with the death.
You were not scared of it anymore, or was there like a point where you wished you were dead, like just to get it over with, or?
I don't know.
Really?
But no, I don't think that I did. But my emotions were dead. Were dead seeing. The first thing which killed my emotion is the first person I saw being killed. Because to me, I was like, there's no way you can do that. If I'm a human, you're a human, you can't do such a thing.
Yeah.
But also, even like seeing other people dying around me in the stadium, being shot, or in the army throwing grenades and stuff like that, I was like, what's happening? But as a street kids, I told you, we don't stay in one place. You keep on moving around and seeing what's... Even we could jump and go back to the center and see what's happening there, you know. So, but yeah, there was death everywhere. Yeah. There was death everywhere, and you could feel it. You could think of what to do, nothing you can do about it. But you know, those who could, they joined the RPF soldiers. Yes. I thought about it, but I didn't decide on that. So,
I remember Mom said she thought about it as well.
Yeah, but then... because that's when like your uncle Didi, Emmanuel, that's when they joined. Others were before, and but yeah, but you know.
And how long did you stay at Byumba?
Oh, Byumba, we stayed until even the genocide against the Tutsi was stopped in the whole country.
Oh, so you guys did like quite a time.
Like, yeah, because we, I think more than 3 months for me, I think. Wow. But by the time, for us, we didn't stay we stayed with the grandpa a little bit. Yes. Grandpa managed to send the kids to Antidona. Okay. Then in Uganda. Yes. And then they stayed in there with I think Credo is the one who stayed with them, I think, if I remember very well. For us, we went to live in
where they found Hussein again.
No, Hussein we met in Kabuye. Oh,
that's after or before?
No, before we get to Byumba. Okay. That's when we met. I didn't know him. He was my father. I grew up hearing about him. But
so that's basically my mom's brother. Yeah. That went into the RPF like years before.
Way before everyone else.
The genocide started. Yeah. So they didn't know if he was still alive or not, and basically they found him. They saw him again as a young.
Meeting him was a miracle. Oh, so you are? We used to call him Matinari. You are so and so. Yeah. So I was like, so it's him. Yeah, it's him.
Wow. Yeah. And for him, it must have been a shock to see his family still alive, a relief.
Both mixture of emotions, like happy. Yes. This is a guy who is fighting against genocide to stop it, and he's meeting the family, but he has to carry on his responsibilities. So there was no time. Yes. Just greet, like, hello, it's good you are still alive. Move on. Wow. That's how it is.
That's crazy how people are just like survive.
Yeah, because there were elders who are still being hunted to be killed, and his responsibilities was, together with others, is to stop it. So he had to move on. Wow. He knew that we are in good hands. Yes.
So that you guys,
he had to move on, Wow. So we met again, way back after genocide has been stopped.
And how was life right after for you?
After genocide? Yes. Well, first of all, for us, I think we ran away again. We went to live in the orphanage in the place called Kajayo in Byumba, and so there is a lot of details into that. But we went to live there until genocide against Tutsi was stopped all over the country.
Completely, yes.
So the orphan home was relocated
Mm-hmm.
I brought here to Saint Paul, near Saint Famille, behind Saint Famille.
Yes.
And then when Grandpa heard that we are in the orphanage, he was like, no way.
Come back.
How come they're in
Yeah.
the orphanage there? You need to bring them. And he sent your mom.
Yes.
So when she came first, we didn't want to leave. We're like,
Really?
no, we're not leaving. At first we were like, no, we're not leaving. We are gonna stay. Then she went back. She told him, and then he wrote a letter to us and to the leadership of the orphanage. So we read it and we're like, okay. So I told my brother, I'm like, okay, we go back home.
Yes.
So always I told him to make decision. We go back home.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. So when she came back, and then we said, okay, we're gonna come. So because also we were a bit grown up according to the other kids in the
Yes.
orphanage, we were responsible, helping out the leaders. And then we had to sneak out.
Oh, okay.
Because we didn't say proper goodbye.
Yes.
Because we knew what was gonna happen. And so we sneaked out and we went back to Grandpa, and we lived there until a lot of stuff. You know, when you meet again, but this country was totally dark.
Yeah, I
Even
can
those
imagine.
years after, it was dark. Houses destroyed and it smelling bad. You could smell death everywhere.
Wow.
Dead people, you know. There was to be honest, I couldn't see this country being where it is today.
Yeah.
No, there's no way I could see that.
Wow. I can imagine, because honestly, when I think about, when you guys tell us the stories, I can't even imagine how bad it was. So I can imagine the other way around of how good it is now and how much it has evolved.
Yeah,
That,
the way I love to reflect on that is that you see this road goes from Gishushu, goes to Remera Airport or Kimirong Stadium. But I love taking a walk in those streets because I used to eat avocados from there, from the trees on the street. So I love taking a walk and seeing, reflect on the past and where the country is. And sometimes it's like I'm dreaming, you know, but that's how lucky we are to have this country like this now.
Definitely. And I also want to know, like, your state of mind right after the genocide, like mentally. Like, when did you start coming back to yourself? Like you said, it took you almost 10 years to realize what really happened.
Yeah.
But right after, like, how were you like? Were you a happy person or just sad or just silent? How did it affect you as like a person?
It was both. First, I was happy that I survived, and the grandpa survived, and the family there. But again, on the other side, you hear that so and so has been killed. So you, personally, I did not give it a time.
Okay.
I kept trying to deny and keep it away from me, you know. But again, I think I started developing a character of, I think I would call it workaholic.
Oh, to be able to avoid.
To keep myself busy into different things, and you know. But again, there's no way you can run away from it.
Exactly.
But together with the leadership of the country, which knew that such people live with the trauma, with the pain, with the wounds, with the what, they knew that people like that are there. So there were different initiatives of helping different people.
Oh,
if you need help, you can go this place, they can help you. But also telling the families who survived, be nearby each other.
Yeah.
You know, before it was being taught division, you know, from the schools way back, but now it's like help one another.
Yeah.
You know, we're all one, you know. And so the leadership had a big
impact.
And the big thing which could help, which I kept thinking of, for me, I'm sure even when many people thought about it, these guys who were fighting to stop genocide against the Tutsi, some of them, their families were wiped out.
Yeah.
but they were able to carry on with their responsibilities and to carry on and, if I can say, forgive those or move on with that. So many times I could think of that, and I'm like, and these are the guys who had guns, who could kill those who did it and finish them. But when you think about that, you're like, who am I to, you know? So sometimes it's like they will tell you it happened.
Yeah.
We have to deal with it, but
Yes.
you can't be the prison of the past. If you're a prison of the past, you're gonna just suffer there. You can't move on.
I know.
So we have to move on, and
Wow.
it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Even today, it's not easy at all, because every time comes back like it was yesterday. Yeah.
So are there any triggers for you? Like maybe some things that happen and it makes you think back about it? Because I know some people are sensitive to, for example, sounds.
Yeah.
Or some aunties. I think auntie told me the other day that she doesn't like when someone like uses the flute or
Whistle,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, whistle. So are there any, till this day, any things that trigger?
Yeah, it is. Actually, after genocide was stopped, I met the guy who cut my brother into the fingers. So my first thought was revenge. So now I'm the one with those who has power. Now the power is on my side.
Yeah.
So first of all, I went to him and I looked at him. I'm like, should I bite him? Should I punch him? What can I do? But again, I was like, there will be no difference, and I'm the one who's going to be punished for that. He's going to be punished for what he did. But if I do the same thing, there's no difference. I'm also going to be punished.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like,
So
I let him go.
Wow.
But he was taken into prison by then.
Oh, okay.
I
So
think
he got
he served his
sentenced.
terms, and
so
yeah, but the triggers are many.
Yeah.
Like the first person I saw being killed,
yeah.
she's always in my mind.
Wow.
Always. The last person I saw when they were shooting us from fetching water, who died in the gates of the stadium, she's always on my mind.
Wow.
Even the kid I carried, I don't remember who was the kid. I don't remember the mother, but it was in the night.
Yeah.
The mother had many kids, and it was like, can someone help me at least carry one?
Yeah.
I carried the one, but I remember carrying the kid,
Yeah,
but I
you
don't know
don't
who I
remember.
carried, and
Yeah.
I don't the mom.
Wow.
So all those are the things. Some things happen, or some people, you listen to the testimonies, and then you start taking your journey again.
Yeah.
As you listen to the story of someone else, then you start listening to,
Wow.
you go back to your journey.
I guess now we get to a question that was asked by many. I did a poll on Instagram and I asked people if there are any questions that they really wanted to ask a survivor. And one that kept coming back was, how do you forgive? Because, for example, for me, I can only talk about me. I didn't experience it. I lost a parent due to sickness. And I remember even being so mad at the sickness and that I wanted to take it out on something, but I lost it. So now that you have a face, you have a person, how do you still move on and decide to truly forgive? Like, was it influenced by faith? Was it influenced by time? Like, what was that journey for you?
I think for me, I was about to go through different teachings or seminars talking about different sort of forgiveness, reconciliation. I actually did also the reconciliation and justice seminar in the UK. But yes, it can help. Whatever you can study about, it can help. But if it doesn't reach your heart, it will not help at all.
Yeah.
So forgiveness is from the heart. Again, forgiveness is setting yourself free. Because if you don't forgive these people, you're going to carry them. They're becoming your burden all your life. Everywhere you are
Always
you
carrying,
have them.
yeah.
So forgiveness, it's not easy. Actually, forgiving someone, it's accepting to die twice. Because there's no way you can tell me that I'm going to forgive someone whom I saw killing my dad, or someone whom I saw killing my auntie. How it's not easy.
Yeah.
But again, with your conscience, with your heart, with the help of different teachings, different seminars, different courses,
Yeah.
you manage, you understand that it's setting yourself free.
Free. Wow.
It does not mean that you forget.
Yeah.
You forgive and you move on. You don't have to forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's such a beautiful.
But God had played a lot of part in it because I'm a believer.
Yeah.
So God played a big part of it. Because if you talk about faith, what did Jesus do to forgive us? What did we pay? You know. Also, if it wasn't forgiving one another, this country won't be where it is. I think it would be finished.
Yeah.
If there was coming in revenge, the way genocide against the Tutsi was carried on, and then the revenge comes back in the same speed, this country won't be existing on the planet.
True.
Yeah.
And
good enough with the leaders who managed to put together the country and helping the people and
the whole message.
different leaders from those who were full of divisions and hate and words. Yeah.
And do you feel like the genocide, how did it affect you as a person? Like has it shaped your view on life, on love, on family, on all those things?
Well, first of all, genocide against Tutsi, it's a terrible thing to happen in the human being life. But again, the way it shaped me is like, don't stand and see bad thing happen. Do something about it. Even if you die doing something about it, at least you are making your step to stop the evil coming in.
Exactly.
Also is that it showed me that there are people who cared. There are people who were willing to sacrifice their lives for me so that I can can survive. So that being said, I'm thankful. I'm thankful to RPF soldiers, to the leadership of this country who took initiative to say, no, we are coming in. And yet we had so-called UN soldiers, UN who goes all over the world, and but I'm thankful for the soldiers who stopped it and the leadership that who shaped the country to be where it is today.
Where it is now, exactly. What is the message that you'd have for the younger generation that was born after the genocide against the Tutsi in 1994? Because I obviously get a lot of messages asking me also to ask you, how was it like? They don't understand the gravity of the situation. Like, because you told us earlier that it was like going to the pits of hell. So yeah, can you just speak a bit about it? Because I guess sometimes people try to minimize it. Like for example, back then in the US, they wouldn't speak about a genocide because they didn't want, to do what was necessary to help. So they would just talk about war or something going on. But yeah, what's like your message to say what really truly occurred here in Rwanda, 1994?
I think the first thing for the young generation who did not face genocide against Tutsi in 1994 in Rwanda is, first of all, you are lucky to have this history put together so that you can learn from it. I would say like, learn as much as possible about this genocide against the Tutsi that happened in 1994 here in Rwanda. Take time, go and learn. The time you take to do other things which are praising you, also make it as one of the things that you have to do. At least visit different memorials. Visit different people, historians who talk about histories, Sit, talk about it. If you have a parent who survived but went through it, be free. Tell the parents to talk about it, those who can, because it's still hard for some people also to talk about it. But those who can, go and be where people are remembering, just listen to different testimonies. You will end up knowing how bad it was, because it will give you even the courage and the way to fight against the deniers, those who are denying that genocide against Tutsi didn't happen. It will give you the information to fight back for those lies. But if you don't go to listen to those things, all these different genocide against Tutsi memorials, they educate yourself. Educate yourself so that when it comes, you have information. There's no one who can lie to you that it didn't happen yet. You have the proof, so that you know that it happened. So educate yourself, dig deeper to know the history of your country, and also fight against the deniers, those who are denying that genocide against Tutsi in 1994 didn't happen. Because you were the one who, if we were the kids by then, and now we are older, you are kids now, but you are the one who is going to be older in a few years to come.
Exactly.
What you're going to do for the country to continue to develop and not to go back to where it was. So it's your responsibility as a young generation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Another question that I wanted to ask you was, how do you keep honoring the memory of your loved ones and maybe your friends and all the people you knew that passed away, while also building yourself in a way and going on in life? Were you able to do that, or is it like a process that you continue to do now?
Yeah, I think big part of it is forgiving.
Yeah.
Reconcile if you can,
and
then move on. Continue to build yourself, because if you stay there, that's where the enemy wanted you to be.
Yeah.
If you are staying there, the enemy is happy. We have those killers who are still around in neighborhood countries, even in the Europe, in the US, everywhere. So if they keep seeing you that you're down there because of what happened to you, they're smiling. So for me to fight first against them is to see me moving on and to see my life being developed, to see my life changed, and also to the country we have a freedom. We have a freedom to do what we can do. We have leaders who are listening to us, and we have a beautiful country. And for me, I would say that many of us, our dreams came true because we could not dream.
Yeah.
There was no one you could
were there
dream.
Any of your dreams that actually did come true?
Well, my first dreams were to becoming a photographer or filmmaker.
Yes.
Which I am today.
Yes.
So, and I have achieved those things that I dreamed of.
Yeah. Taking
photos of those whom I dreamed of taking photo of.
Yes.
And you see, there's some of us, if it was by education, some of us wouldn't be doing what we are doing now.
Exactly.
We will be denied. If it was like before, some of us wouldn't be doing what we do because we won't be given the right or the opportunity to do so.
Exactly.
But this is a country and the leadership that gives opportunity to everyone. If I know you can, I won't look at your nose. I won't look at where you come from. If you're able to do what I need you to do, you're given an opportunity. It's no longer like those years back. So our life, that's how our life keeps glowing. We are being given opportunity. We are supported by good leadership. We are safe.
Yeah.
We are free to dream. Yeah.
What's the last question? What's something you're most excited about, for the future of Rwanda, and also for your future? And maybe you can end with a message to everyone that's out there who's maybe still struggling to move on or to remember, but with also building themselves up.
Yeah, I think before I answer that, I come back to the previous question you asked, how do I honor those who were killed because of who they are? Those people who were killed because of who they are, they're still with us. They, not physically, but they're still with us. As we speak now, on Sunday, we're going to come and lay flowers and lay wreath for our auntie who is buried here, among others, So they're still with us. The best thing we can do is to pay respect to them because they did not choose to be killed. So we have to bring those flowers to them, showing them we are still together, we are still here, we still remember you. You were killed, but with us, you're still alive. So, and again, the other question you asked about seeing the future of this country. Even if I die today, I know this country will not have a genocide again. That gives me a peace of mind that, even I see, when I see where it is now, that I could not see 1994, it's even going even beyond where, this country is on speed. The way it develops, I tell you, it's on speed, and it's all about the good leadership that we have. So even if I die today, I would die happy knowing that those killings, genocide will not happen again in this country.
Wow, that's a beautiful message. And I wanted to thank you and say how proud I am of having you as my uncle. Love you very much.
Love you too.
And I'm just so proud of who he is as a person. And I wanted to say a huge thank you to our leadership, like he mentioned, of this country, that gives us opportunity, a platform, and also that just gives a message of hope and a commitment to never again. And a huge thank you also to the Kigali Genocide Memorial today that allowed us to film here. So just my message to the youth is take time to remember, to spend time with your family, to hear the stories, to educate ourselves, and to also pay respect in the way that we can by coming here, by walking to remember, by just paying respect to our families that passed away, or friends and families. And thank you so much for listening till the end. Please subscribe for the next episode and comment what you like the most about this episode. And see you next time. Bye-bye.